Hey friends, my name is Oleg, this is Mr. Bond, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I need your help. I'm looking to mod a watch. I'm not that experienced at modding watches and I've done a whole bunch of research, but I still can't decide on a few things, so I've decided to reach out to you guys to help me with that task. A few months ago I bought this watch right here, a Calvin Klein designer watch. Before you click off this video, before you unsubscribe, if you haven't seen that video, I will link it in the description below. But basically the reason why I bought this watch, because it has the best specs of any watch for the price. It had the best value for money proposition out of any watch that I have ever reviewed. It's a Swiss-made watch made by Swatch Group when Calvin Klein watches were still made by the Swatch Group. It has a sapphire crystal and most importantly, it has the ETA 2824-2 automatic movement. So all of that was for $160. Now you can see why I purchased this watch. And overall the watch is okay. I mean, it's not awful, but it's not the best quality watch. The set of hands are lacking. There's really no lume. It is a nice and thin case, and it does work pretty well as a dress watch. I also worn this one with a Bond NATO strap, and overall the design is pretty good. And even though the design and the look of the watch are not too bad, it still has that feel of a fashion watch. So I decided to take out the movement from this watch and to mod it. Something that's missing from my collection is a good Flieger watch. I used to have this MWC, the military watch company watch that I bought at the flea market. It was alright, had the, I think, Seiko NH35 automatic movement. It didn't have sapphire crystal and it had the Type A dial. It wasn't my favorite, so I actually sold that watch. And now I'm looking for a Type B Flieger dial watch. So I thought, why not take out the movement from this Calvin Klein watch and combine it with the case and the dial and the hands of a Flieger Type B watch and make my very own unique Flieger watch. It seemed easier said than done. So what I did, I went on eBay and I started researching some cases and dials for ETA 2824 movement. I thought that's a very popular movement. Sure, there's going to be a lot of different cases and dial options. And there are, however, a lot of them are fake. I came across a few sellers, they seem to have a pretty good feedback and reputation, and they're selling these what seem to be fake Fortis Flieger watch cases and dials. All the ingredients are there and they're not even that expensive. 105, 110 US dollars for the case, crystal, dial, hands, and crown. That's really good deal. Combined with the $160 that I spent on the Calvin Klein, that would have been a great build. However, after doing more research, I think all of these are fake. First of all, it's too good to be true in the first place, but then if you look at some of these listings, they have this limited edition red and black Flieger dial, and very clearly that's not a genuine Fortis Flieger dial and case. Otherwise, it wouldn't be so cheap. And then I went on some forums and I found out basically that there are quite a few of these coming from UK, surprisingly, that are all fake. And for some reason, they're all Fortis, which is kind of weird. Why would you fake Fortis watches? They're kind of an obscure brand that not a lot of people know about. I guess that's why you would fake them. I've seen a few of these fake Fortis watches. I've seen some in Portland at actual stores that were selling them, like the vintage stores in Portland, and they were selling these fake Fortis watches. There are plenty of them on eBay amongst fake Seiko watches. A lot of them do come from India. And I actually even have one in my possession, thanks to a local subscriber, Jeff. I still haven't took that watch apart, but I know it's a fake Fortis. So for obvious reasons, I decided not to buy this specific case and dial from the seller because they are fake, and of course I don't want to build a fake Flieger watch. I started digging some more around eBay, and it's much harder than you think it is to find a case, a dial, and a set of hands, as well as the crown for ETA 2824 movement that is pretty good looking and that looks like a proper Flieger watch. I found some examples of a Flieger Type B dials, I found some examples of the set of hands, I found some examples of the crown and the case, all separate. Nobody really sold it as a full kit. Kind of a missed opportunity if you ask me. Maybe some of you are looking for a new business opportunity. That could be it. I also checked other websites like Amazon and AliExpress. A similar situation there. Seems like they have some options, but I wasn't too confident about them. And also from the pictures, they didn't look that good. They looked like the cheap $60, $70 Flieger watches that you find on AliExpress. The lume wasn't that great. The attention to detail on the dial didn't look that good. The case didn't look that good. Basically, it felt wrong to put such a great movement in such a terrible case, so I couldn't really find anything that would fit this type of a movement that well. On a side note, after looking at the prices for cases and dials separately, it gave me a new appreciation for these affordable watches from China like the Pagani design watch, because buying the case and the crystal and the dial and the crown just by themselves costs more than how much these cheap watches cost, like a Pagani design watch or a Genot or something like that, or Parnis. So it's pretty impressive that they're able to get these watches for so cheap and still make money. Of course, I understand they're making them in bulk, but nevertheless, it gave me a new appreciation for how cheap those watches really are. Because if you look at the individual parts, they're quite expensive. I mean, the case is like, I don't know, $70, $80. The crystal is another $30. The dials are another $30, $40, the set of hands, and so on. So it really adds up, as opposed to here, you can buy like a full watch for 50, 60 bucks. After my search on eBay, Amazon, and AliExpress were not really successful, I decided to look into some forums, and I found a couple of different websites that seem to be selling full kits for these movements. And again, I'm looking for Flieger watches only, so there's a few other different options, but I was looking at Flieger specifically. So I found this website here. It's called shop.sk/watchparts.com. Again, no affiliation with this website whatsoever. And they seem to have a good Flieger case, dial, hands, and crown already. 42mm case size, not too bad, and does come with a sapphire crystal. All of that for £115, reasonable price. However, the look of this watch does not inspire confidence. It doesn't look that great. I mean, maybe some people will like this design. To me, I didn't really like it. And then I also found this other watch store. This one is called Helen Arau Watch and Parts. And here they have actually pretty good looking case, dial, and crown, all bought separately, so you can put it together the way you want it. And they have some pretty good options. So these are the parts that I chose. Now they're all called Laco Aviation Pilot parts. So very clearly they're paying homage to Laco Pilot watches. Not a bad thing if you ask me. I mean, as long as it doesn't say Laco anywhere on the dial or on the case, I'm good with that. And if you put the three parts that I have here together, the case, the dial, and the set of hands, it looks pretty good if you ask me. And the total price comes to about $170 US. Not overly cheap, but not too expensive if you factor in also the movement. I'm gonna be into about, what, 350 bucks for the whole build. Not too bad. Now, that's where I need help from you guys. Because I don't know if this website is overly reliable. I checked some forums and seems like people had mixed results with it. Mostly people said they had good experience with it, but still I'm not too sure, especially since I'm not that experienced with the build. So your input would be greatly appreciated. Have you used this website? What was your experience like? Have you done any builds from this website? But also, besides this website, do you have any other suggestions for me to buy a case, dial, and hands, as well as the crown for this movement? Maybe you have one of these lying around the house that you don't want anymore or don't want to use anymore that uses ETA 2824 movement. Maybe you have some other websites that you know of. Please leave your comments in the comment section below. Help me with this build. I have no idea what I'm doing here, and even after I buy all these parts, of course I'm going to do a modding video for you guys, and hopefully if you're into modding your own watch, that will be helpful. And maybe you don't know much about building watches right now, so again, maybe this video will be helpful, especially looking through that comment section. But that's where I'm at. I've spent many hours, more than I'd like to admit, researching this project, and that's where I ended up. So instead of just making a decision myself, I thought I'd ask for your input. A lot of you guys are much smarter than me, more experienced than me, so maybe some of your input will help with this project. So this project will become, instead of just my project, kind of our project, and I think that's pretty great. So if you have any input, or if you have any of these cases or parts lying around, or if you know of any websites that would provide these cases that are good quality, please leave all those thoughts below. And if you're interested in modding one of your watches, well, maybe you can follow along and look at some suggestions from community in the comment section of this video. I appreciate you watching this one until the end, for those of you who did. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, that helps out quite a bit. Plus you won't miss that modding video when it comes out in the future. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. By the way, today on my wrist I'm wearing Rolex Explorer. I did a full review of this watch. That video can be found on the YouTube channel. I will also leave it linked in the description below. Also in the description below there are two other links. The first link is a secret link. Have a look if you're curious. The second link is a link to bondnatostraps.com. If you're looking for a great quality NATO strap and want to support this YouTube channel at the same time, buying one of these NATO straps is a great way to do so. Thanks for watching. I hope you're staying safe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. You have to chew. You have to chew. That's the deal. That's the deal, okay? Good boy. Good boy. You're eating too fast.